is a message to black women. Whether you know it or not, in most of black women's subconscious minds is an image of a white Christ. And that white Christ was placed there before Islam came into America. It is so easy in this society to be swayed to a negative position with your black man. Everything in the society is set up that way on purpose. It is so easy to be led in this society with so many influences. And there's so many influences that it's often difficult to analyze each one and find out, are they doing what they're doing for your benefit? Before there was a white Jesus, there was Horus. And Horus is black. Horus's father Osiris, Horus's mother Isis, the original Trinity. Osiris was called the Lord of the perfect black. In America, black is bad. In Africa, in the ancient world, it's perfect. It's the color of divinity. It is so easy to take on the same mentality of white women in this society who typically look at black men in a negative light. It's easy to do. All you gotta do is just play your role like you just one of them. It's easy to do it, especially in the workforce, in the professional world. It's harder to be yourself. And I'm not talking about using slang and not being professional. I'm talking about loving yourself. Because so much in the society is designed to make you hate yourself. If you hate black men, you hate yourself. Because the black man is your reflection. The white man ain't your reflection. He's not a reflection of you. What you see is a reflection of yourself when you look at a black man. Your response to him is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. Some people say, well, I feel this way or I do this. They try to justify it, which bores me. I do this because so many brothers ain't shit, so many this and so many that. But we'll deal with that in a second. Horus is Jesus. My son is 10, getting ready to turn 11. And he was in Sunday school recently. All white kids. And a white teacher teaching about the Bible. And I teach, my family about things. Because I would never be with one of those women that can't learn nothing because she thinks she know everything. Kick you to the curb quick. So, learn from each other. So I taught him about Jesus and what the Bible describes him as. The Bible. The good book. So he was in Bible study, and a white teacher and all the white students, she's teaching about Jesus. And he raises his hand. And she says, yes. And he said, I read in the Bible where it showed that Jesus was not brown like me, but actually black like a crayon. And the white teacher said, I'm going to tell you something that a lot of white teachers will not tell you. She said, but Jesus is black. And all the white kids, when he looked around the room, they had their mouth open like, oh. She told him, I'm going to tell you what a lot of white teachers are not. Yes, it is true, Jesus is black. Black women need to get the image of a black Christ in their, just because you black don't mean that you black. So I'm talking to those that are in consciousness. Right? You will need in this new world that's coming around to get it in your mind that Heru or Horus is black, and really, really work that into your consciousness. What do you see when you look at a black man? Analyze how you feel when you see a black man. Analyze what's going on in your mind, in your heart. Because I'm going to tell you something. You cannot separate the men that you have dated from who you are. They are a reflection of where you were at the time. So if all of them were busters, it's because that's what you were at the time. You're not made out of sugar and spice and everything nice, if I'm not. That poem lied to you. Sometimes it's difficult in this society for women to look at themselves because there's not a lot built into the society to make black women look at themselves in an objective way. You may have voted for Barack Obama and use that maybe as an argument to say that you are ready for a black Heru. But most black women in this society are not ready to be a Michelle. Because you first have to change the image in your mind of the black man. You have to understand that just because you voted for Barack doesn't mean that you're ready to play a supportive role with a black man with a huge ego. I have a huge ego. And I have been in situations where the black women that I deal with are too busy trying to go toe to toe with my ego rather than play a supportive role with it. And so many times I've had to say, take a look at the jersey that you have on. Now take a look at the one that I have on. It's the same one.
Same one.
LeBron got his ring. For you buster ass haters out there. He got his ring. But he didn't get it because Wade was checking him every time he came into the paint. Wade realized he had the same jersey on as dude. I don't need a black woman to try to to check my ego. I needed to step her game up so that she can support a black man with a big ego. If you are going to have a black man in the White House, that black man has got to have a big ego. And you have to have enough self-confidence to play a supportive role and get behind that man and support him with that huge ego, not compete with him. Same jersey. Just because you voted for Barack does not mean that you're ready to be a Michelle. Some people say that ego means edging God out. But there's a difference between ego and arrogance. Arrogance is overcompensation for what's lacking. A boy who's grown doesn't know how to be a man, but he postulates manhood. I'm a grown-ass man. But he's not mature. That's different. Arrogance is not the same as genuine ego, confidence. Ego does not mean edging God out. You got to have a big ego if you're going to do big things. You got to have a big ego if you're going to do big things. If you're going to do little things, it just takes a little ego. But a big accomplishment requires a big ego. Don't confuse ego and arrogance. A genuinely confident person is not arrogant. That's not the same thing. White people are arrogant. Their country is falling apart at the seams, and yet they still postulate this superiority. And China is laughing at the white man. India, everybody sees him for what he really is. Arrogance is not supported by true confidence. The Chinese are truly confident people. Some say arrogant, but they have a position to stand on. The white man doesn't have one to stand on. Almost everything in his house has a Made in China sticker on it. That ain't nothing to be arrogant about.
Sad.
If he was humble, he'd see that the white man in America is a laughing stock in the world. The real Jesus is Horus. It never was him. The black woman must be willing to play that supportive role with a Barack. Michelle Obama doesn't even like politics. She don't even like that. She's not interested in that stuff. And she'll tell you in interviews, that's not my interest. But her interest is Barack. In order for him to achieve what he achieved, he has to have a woman that's willing to support his dream. And if that dream is big, he's got to have big confidence, not little confidence. A lot of y'all still trying to push arrogance and ego in the same cup, and they're going to always separate because one of them is oil and the other one is water. If the black woman is going to be ready for the new world, she's going to have to change her view of the black man in her subconscious mind. As soon as you elevate yourself, you will elevate the men in your life. If the reason that you don't have a positive image of black men is because all the black men in your life failed you, your father, your stepfather, your older brother, your uncles, and yes, I'm insinuating, and a lot of you know what I mean, on so many levels. They failed you. They've hurt you. They've abused you. They've taken advantage of you. That is not a true reflection of the real black man.
Nope.
You need to get yourself and your mind and your heart connected and ready for a real black man. Because those were not representations of a real black man.
Nope.
And you will not attract a real one until you get ready in your heart and in your mind. Voting for a black man does not mean that you're ready to support one on that level, with that level of ego. What I have found oftentimes are black women who try to challenge my ego rather than support it. They get with me because they like me, but once they get with me, they're always, it's like a thumb wrestling match. They trying to pin mine down. I just let your hand go. I need you on my team. And if you can't, then keep attracting losers. Can't separate who you're with from who you are.